No, 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 no! Hey buddies, it's your girl AyChristene, and today you guys suggested that I check out The Smiling Man Animated. This is by Llama Arts. I'm a little nervous because it's still Halloween-y time, so this is still kind of possibly scary. But the link for this video is down below in the description box below for you to check out. Now, let's get started. The Smiling Man.
About 5 years ago, I lived downtown in a major city in the US. I've always been a night person, so I would often find myself bored after my roommate, who was decidedly not a night person, went to sleep. To pass the time,
that sucks
I used to go
when
for
you're at
long
odds.
walks and spend the time thinking. I spent 4 years like that,
Really?
walking alone at night, and never once had a reason to feel afraid. I always
think
used
you
to
should.
joke with my roommates that even the drug dealers in the city were polite. But all
I
that
guess-
changed in just a few minutes of one evening.
Dear. I guess if you
It
feel
was
very
a Wednesday,
safe, then you would do it,
somewhere
but I don't
between
recommend
1
doing
and 2 in
it.
the morning, and I was walking near a police
Ninja said
patrolled park.
1 to 2 in the morning. Between 1 and 2 in the morning. Kids, adults, old people, elderly, all souls that are living and being and have a conscious mind, don't do that. 1 to 2 in the morning, stay inside your house. You ain't got to go to bed, but you need to stay inside your house. Lock your doors.
Quite a ways from my apartment. It was a quiet night, even for a weeknight, with very little traffic and almost no one on foot. The park, as it was most nights, was completely empty. I went down a short side street in order to loop back down my apartment when I first noticed him. At the far end of the street, on my side, was the silhouette of a man dancing. It was a strange dance,
That's
similar to a
unique.
waltz, but he finished each box with an odd forward stride. I guess you could say he was dance walking, headed straight for me.
I like
Deciding
the
he was
eyes.
probably drunk, I stepped as close as I could to the road to give him the majority of the sidewalk to
No,
pass
you
me.
walk across.
The closer he got, the more I realized how gracefully he was moving. He was very tall and lanky and
No,
wearing
across
an
the
old
street.
suit. He danced
I
closer
love
still
the eye movements
until I could make out
of
his
this
face.
animation.
His eyes were open wide and
no.
wild, head tilted back slightly, looking off at the
No,
sky.
bruh.
His mouth was formed in a painfully wide
No.
cartoon of a smile. Between
Get
the eyes and the
across.
smile, I decided to cross the street before
Thank
he danced
you.
any closer.
Thank you.
I took my eyes off of him to cross the empty street. As I reached the other side, I glanced back, and then stopped dead in my tracks. He had stopped dancing and was standing with one foot in the street, perfectly parallel to me.
No.
He was facing me, but still looking skyward.
No.
Smile still wide on his
No.
lips. I was completely and utterly unnerved by this. I started walking again, but kept my eyes on the man. He didn't move. Once I had put about half a block between us, I turned away from him for a moment to watch the sidewalk in front of me. The street and sidewalk ahead of me were completely empty.
Nah, bruh.
Still unnerved,
That's not cool.
I looked back to where he had been standing to find him gone. For the
Really?
briefest of moments, I felt relieved, until I noticed him. He had crossed the street and was now slightly crouched down.
That's not
I
good.
couldn't tell for sure due to the
Is he about to
distance and the
run?
shadows, but I was certain he was facing me.
Oh dear.
I had looked away from him for no more than 10 seconds,
How did he cross
so it
the
was
street?
clear that he had moved fast. I was so shocked, and I stood there for some time, staring at him. And then he started moving toward me again. He took giant, exaggerated, tiptoed steps, as if he were a cartoon character sneaking up on
This is
someone.
weird.
Except he was moving very, very
No,
quickly.
what are you doing?
I'd like to say at this point that
You
I
did
ran
it!
away or pulled out my pepper spray or cell phone or anything
Sir!
at all, but I didn't. I just stood there, completely frozen, as the smiling man crept toward me. And then he stopped again, about a car length away from me, still smiling a smile, still looking to the sky.
Oh my gosh.
When I finally found my voice, I blurted out the first thing
What
that
are you
came
gonna
to
say?
mind. What I meant to ask was, "What the fuck do you want?" in an angry, commanding tone. What came out was a whimper. What the fuck?
Oh, he couldn't even say it.
Regardless of whether or not humans can smell fear, they can certainly hear it.
Oh dear. Yeah.
I heard it in my own voice. That only made me more
yeah,
afraid.
I can tell.
But he didn't react to it at all. He
That's
just stood
creepy
there
as freaking
smiling.
heck, man.
And then, after what felt like forever, he turned around very slowly and started dance walking away. Just like that. Not wanting to turn my back to him again, I just watched him go until he was far enough away to almost be out of sight.
Oh my goodness.
And then I realized something. He wasn't moving away anymore, nor was he dancing. I watched in horror as the distant shape of him got bigger and bigger.
Move!
He was coming back my way. He was coming back my way. And this time he was running. I ran until I was off the side road and back onto a better lit road with sparse traffic. Looking behind me then, he was nowhere to be found. Oh my gosh. The rest of my way home, I kept glancing over my shoulder, always expecting to see his stupid smile. But he was never there. Oh my gosh. I lived in that city for 6 months after that, and I never went out for another walk. There was something about his face that always haunted me. He didn't look drunk. He didn't look high. He looked completely and utterly insane. And that's a very, very scary thing to see. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was fun. That was pretty messed up. Pretty messed up. That guy was creepy. You know, the thought that came to my mind during this is like, what if that man was like trolling? He had like a happy night, like he just fallen in love or something, like the hills are alive with this, and then just like dancing, and then sees somebody who seems obviously unnerved and was like, oh, I'm gonna troll this guy tonight. If that's the case, that's great. Nonetheless, homie, hey, don't be walking around the city at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Stay inside your house. Why are you walking around on dead behind streets where there's nobody? Don't walk down streets where there's no one. Even if you're in New York, the city that never sleeps, okay? There are empty streets. Don't go down them. Stay on well-populated, well-lit, well-populated and well-lit, because it could be well-lit and not populated, and that is not good either. Well-populated streets, okay? Or just don't walk out at like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. I know you're a night body. Go with some friends to like a club or something. Don't be walking this, oh, I'm just gonna meander around the city and see what the sun has got for me. No, 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 no. I got a little bit angry there. I'm sorry. I do apologize. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did that video kind of make you feel unnerved? What are your thoughts? If you like that video, check out the link in the description box below. If you like this video, hug the life out of that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you're notified of when I post. I love you guys as always, and until next time.